Welcome back to Real Roots Radio. Really excited to have two of the most awarded fiddle players in bluegrass music history joining me today on Real Roots Radio, Jason Carter and Michael Cleveland. How you fellas doing?
Great, Daniel. Thanks for having us
Doing
here.
great.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for having us, Daniel.
Of course. Thanks for the opportunity. We've heard rumors and rumblings about a new album from the two of you for quite some time, and glad that the rumors are true. There is a new album coming out with two of our favorite fiddlers, Jason and Michael, joining forces. How did the idea for this project come about?
Mike, you want to take over?
Sure.
All
I'll
right,
give it a
cool.
shot.
Yeah.
So I think I first met Jason around 1993 or 94. And it was around the time of the Bluegrass Youth All-Stars, where Pete Warnick put that band together and we played the awards show. And then a slightly different version of that band played a show in Josh Williams' hometown of Dayton, Kentucky. And the Bluegrass Youth All-Stars opened for the Bill McCoury band. And that was the first time I gotten to hear Dell live. And now I've met Ronnie, I think, at IBMA before that. And he said, man, I want you to hear our fiddle player. He actually sent me a copy of the Deeper Shade of Blue album. Just like one day in the mail, there was this album from Ronnie McCoury. He was like, hey, it's got this fiddle player I was telling you about, Jason Carter. He's into Benny Martin and Scotty Stoneman, and and you need to hear this guy. So I heard the album, and then when we did that show, that's the first time I saw Bill live, and I just became a huge Del McCoury fan. I was into playing guitar at that time, trying to sing, and I think I tried to learn every Dell song. I recorded it off the soundboard that show, and I probably still have an old tape of it somewhere. But so Jason and I, we run into each other and kind of keep in touch, and I think we started kind of seeing each other a little more at festivals and stuff around 2010, 2011. And he asked me a couple times, why don't you come up and play some with Dell, and we'll play some stuff. And we would never have a chance to rehearse. It would just be like jump up on stage and play Good Woman's Love, or Train Wreck of Emotion, or In Despair, or Tall Timber, or Close By, or any of these Bill Monroe, classic twin fiddle stuff, but we never would rehearse. And the thing now, it seems really easy when you got a bunch of people on stage, somebody yell out twin fiddles, so you get these two fiddle players and they each play it a little different. It's very rare that it would work out perfect twin fiddle, without having a chance to work out these things. And man, it just seemed like we had listened to the same versions of the same songs, and we were able to just do it without rehearsing. I said to Jason one day, man, if we had a chance to rehearse this stuff, think how good it would be, So we started talking about making an album. I think it was 15 years ago.
Wow.
And
At least.
we both were into we had talked about how there hadn't been a twin fiddle album in a while. And so we were both into the Kenny Baker and Bobby Hicks, Darkness on the Delta, Kenny Baker, Blaine Strauss, Indian Springs, and then the Benny Martin and Buddy Spiker had a great twin fiddle album on CMH, came out a while back. And we always talk about doing something together, and the way this has come about might be a little different in the sense that it's not just a twin fiddle instrumental album. Like twin fiddles are represented throughout all this album, and there's definitely some instrumentals on it. Like I think there's, what'd you say, 5, Jason?
Man, I'm not really sure, Mike. I think there's 4 or 5, I think, that
At
we
least
have.
5.
Yeah.
At least 5. But then there's, like, I think people are finally starting to realize that Jason Carter is a great singer. And we've recorded a lot of what we think are great songs, and as well as instrumentals, But to arrange these songs and work out twin fiddle parts to this kind of thing, and to listen to Jason sing all this stuff, it's been an absolute privilege to be a part of it.
Why was it important for you guys on this new album to have it not just be twin fiddle instrumentals? In addition to showcasing Jason's voice, why was it important, and this could go to either one of you, to have, songs with vocals instead of just hot picking?
Man, I don't really know how to answer that, Daniel. Maybe Mike does, but I don't know. I think whenever I listen to a record, I like the variety of a mixture of instrumentals and vocal songs as well. And we have a lot of guests on here too that sing in harmony with me, and I think that kind of mixes it up a little bit too. So I would enjoy this record because it has vocals on it as well, more so than just an all instrumental record.
One thing that's great too about both of your guys' styles of fiddle playing is you guys both come from the school of not only being able to play hot tunes, but also be able to play fiddle that supports a song with vocals, and to be able to support the lead vocalist, which makes a huge difference. And it's not everyone has that gift.
Yeah, man, that's it's funny. I was speaking for myself. When I learned to play the fiddle, I learned to play basically from listening to Del McCoury records, and trying to learn how to back up a singer. And I always liked, for some reason, I always liked the songs that had a story, or the singing songs more so than the instrumentals. I know that's kind of odd for, you think of me as a fiddle player, that I would probably like a lot of fiddle tunes and all that, but I didn't cut my teeth on that. I learned from trying to back up a vocalist, and trying to copy what the singer's singing.
Michael, you mentioned earlier about how your guys' fiddle stylings complemented each other so well, to where you could do, twin fiddles off the cuff, and them kind of match up and it knock itself out, instead of coming from two different places. Why do you think your guys' fiddle styles have kind of been simpatico, and you guys have made such great twin fiddle partners over the years, and then culminating with this new album? That goes for
well, I think it's because number one, we're both into the same guys. I mean, we're both into, Vassar and Benny Martin and Scotty Stoneman, and we have Bobby Hicks and Kenny Baker, and we've all listened to that. And we both listened to the live, the underground live stuff that's out there, and the albums, and like but I think for my part, and this is the truth. When I saw Del McCoury in '94 that first time, I mean, I was a Del fan, and I got really into everything that he ever did. And Jason's playing, obviously, and so I was pretty familiar just from listening to Del all the time. I think that kind of gave me, like I got to where I could kind of learn Jason's playing. And I actually, Jason's one of my biggest fiddle influences. So I think that probably had a lot to do with it. It's just hearing Dell so much, and I mean, he's still one of the bands. I mean, if I were to go out and listen to anybody live, he'd be at the top of the list, man. I mean, I think he is now the father of bluegrass. Like, yeah, I mean, he's the best representation of bluegrass, in my opinion, that's out there now.
If you want the real deal, you go see Dell and the Boys, right, Michael?
That's it, man. I mean, that's the closest thing to they can adequately do, Bill Monroe, they can represent any part of bluegrass and then do his own stuff and put a bluegrass spin on it. And it sounds like bluegrass, but there's not a lot of bands that check all the boxes, that can do all that.
Yeah. Jason, why do you think that your and Michael's fiddle playing has you found such a great musical compadre in Michael when it comes to your guys' approach to fiddle?
I think he pretty much summed it up, man. I'm kind of the same way. That it's the reason I picked up the fiddle was when I heard Dell. It's like I was a kid and I wanted to I knew then that that's what I wanted to do, was play fiddle with this guy, with Dell, and so I started learning that stuff. And a few years later, Cleve was doing the same thing. But after I met Michael and he started recording and I started hearing his playing, it was the same thing. It's like I would listen to his records and I would be trying to steal his licks and trying to learn his breaks and stuff, So I think we listen to the same stuff. We have a great respect for all the pioneers, all those, Benny Martin and Paul Warren and Scott Stoneman for sure, Vassar and Bobby Hicks. And besides that, we still, I think we both listen to everybody. There's a lot of great fiddle players, young fiddle players today that just are just playing so much great fiddle. And it's like I'm sure Mike's the same way, but you hear that and it's like you want to learn what they're doing as well, But I think me and Mike have the same taste in a lot of music.
Hey, Jason, so real quick, and I always have thought this was interesting, kind of getting off track a little bit, but so like you started playing fiddle specifically to play with the Del McCoury band.
Well,
right?
Mike, that was the whenever there was a fiddle at my house. I started playing guitar when I was 8, and then Dad had a fiddle and a mandolin, and I played the mandolin. And then I heard Dell when I was around 15, and I would play guitar. That's what drew me to the music, man, was his singing and that guitar, that rhythm, And I would play along with the records with my guitar, and I would tell my dad, I want to play with Del McCoury, and he knew that. Well, I played mandolin as well, and he told me one day, he said, "Well, son, if you want to play with Del McCoury, he plays the guitar, and his sons play banjo and mandolin, and so if you want to play something, it's probably going to be bass or fiddle." And we had a fiddle, so I picked it up, and I started from playing mandolin. I knew kind of how to note the fiddle. They note the same, and so I started trying to learn all the solos from the Dell records, and that's what I first, like I said, I was a kid, and then when people ask what, people would always say, "What are you going to do when you finish school?" And it's like, well, I'm going to play fiddle with Del McCoury, and that's what I was going to do. And then I graduated high school, and I thought, whoa, how is a kid that lives in Eastern Kentucky going to ever have a chance to get a job with somebody that's from Pennsylvania, and it just so happened I wound up getting a job with the Goins brothers, and we were on the same bill as played the Spigma convention down here in Nashville, and Dell was there, and Tad Marks came to me. I'm getting long-winded, but he came to me and he said he was leaving the band, and he knew that I wanted the fiddle job. And he said, if you want to he said, if you want this job, you should go talk to Dell. And I went to Dell and I gave him my phone number, and he called me and told me I could come try out, and I got the job. And that was about 32 years ago. So,
Wow.
I've always thought that was
sorry
an
to get so long.
amazing story.
We're having a blast with Jason Carter and Michael Cleveland. Their first twin fiddle album will be released later this year, and we have the new single. It was just released. Why don't you guys tell us about the song "Give It Away"? Where did it come from?
Go ahead, dude.
All right. Tim O'Brien and Matt Combs wrote this song, and we were looking when we started talking about this record. We were, I was reaching out to everybody I could, songwriters, and texted with Tim, and he wound up sending a couple songs, and this was one of them. And me and Michael both really liked this song, and we decided to record it. And when I first heard this one, the first person that come to mind to me was Sam Bush, and we were very fortunate to get Sam to play and actually sing with me on this tune. So, Mike, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how the song evolved. Like when Tim actually sent us two really good songs. We had trying to pick the one we wanted because they were both so good, But that one, this one, "Give It Away," is well, the version he sent was kind of an old time sounding version. He was playing some old time, maybe like frailing banjo kind of thing, and I knew I liked the song immediately, and then Jason sent me a version of him. He's kind of working on it, learning it and all that. And he sent it, and I knew it was in the key of B, and I thought, oh man, I know where this is going. It's going to be a hard driving bluegrass mash sung in B, with twin fiddles, and the killer, great vocals and an even better message. But that's kind of how it really, that's when it started really taking shape, like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do with this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, man.
It's a great recording. It's a great lead-off single for the upcoming project. What about the song? You mentioned the song's message. Why do you think the message of the song makes it so appropriate for the times in which we are currently in?
I don't know. The line in the song is, you have to give it away. You have to give love away to be able to. So to me, it's like you have to be able to give it away to receive love. So it's, I don't know. It just seems like a great message. I don't know how to answer.
In an election year, that's a great message, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I guess the world does need more love, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And man, and it was sure going around when we were recording this song. I can promise you that it was a really, really fun thing in the studio, and the guys that we had in there recording. It was just a wonderful time, and
Sam Bush sang on this. He sang his part on. He played on the track. We cut it, and it was Sam and Brian Sutton, Alan Barker, and Corey Walker on the session, and Jason sang scratch vocal, and then we decided we wanted Sam to sing harmony on it, and we called him and asked him about it. He said, "Well, I'm going to be in Nashville around this time, but if you want to send it, I'm on vacation right now in Florida. If you want to send it to this buddy of mine who has a studio, I'll do it while I'm in Florida on vacation." And I mean, how cool is that? Here's Sam Bush, not only into singing on the song, but it's like, man, I'll do. And he would call and ask, just like, I think I had about two 25 or 30-minute conversations with Sam Bush that would, started out as, hey, I got a quick question for you. And then we get into, he start telling stories, and it was just so cool. Like, man, Sam Bush, I just talked on the phone with Sam Bush for like 25, 30 minutes, but he seemed really into it, and he wanted to, I just thought it was so cool that he would do that for us on his vacation.
Yeah, man, it really speaks highly of what kind of person he is, that he would, he would take time out of his vacation to come in and work, go to work and record with us. It's I'm blown away. Yeah, but that's the way Sam, Sam, he's just the greatest guy, man. He's I don't know. It's like anytime that Sam's around, whenever he walks into the room, he lights it up, man. Everybody's always smiling when Sam's around,
Always the same, man. He loves it still,
Yep, he's the greatest guy. So he was perfect fit for this song.
It's a great song. Give It Away. Jason Carter, Michael Cleveland, with their buddy Bluegrass Music Hall of Famer Sam Bush, and an all-star cast surrounding them as well: Alan Bartram, Brian Sutton, and Corey Walker. Be sure to check it out. It's available now, and let's hear it right now on Real Roots Radio. Jason and Michael, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Daniel.